Well, here we are, thoughts from the office, Redneck Pride Outdoors. Just got back from Minktoberfest. My son Jennings and I went on out there on Thursday. We spent Thursday, Friday. Around 1 o'clock on Saturday, we had to come on home. I had to get ready for a show that I was supposed to be at on Sunday, but I was feeling kind of rough Saturday morning. Wasn't really, showing it, but I was feeling probably a little rough. My head was hurting a little bit. Got home and man, it felt like somebody hit me in the side of the head with a ball bat. So I picked up something. Spent yesterday and just laying around doing nothing hardly. Head hurt. Took a bunch of NyQuil. But up and running again. I ain't 100% yet, but I'm up and running again anyhow. All right. But I want to do this. I want to do a little something on Minktoberfest for the New Jersey Snaremen. A lot of folks will say to me, why would you go out to Minktoberfest when most of the folks out there are foot trappers? And I'll say, yeah, they are. Some great foot trappers. And I went out there because this is what I've learned over many, many years of being a trapper. Location is the key. Animal behavior and animal habits is the key. The method is not. Now, it goes against the grain of a lot of folks. But it's true. If I can understand location, I can understand habits, and I can understand behavior, then I can always come up with a method, whatever my tool is. And, back when we lost the foothold trap, I didn't think this way. It wasn't until after I lost the foothold trap, and all I had was a stupid piece of cable given to me that I had to figure out how to make her happen. And, God gave me the ability to be able to transfer what the person is saying about foot traps and transfer it into how can I make cable work. And where people get hung up is they're listening to the method when what I'm reading from the person talking is not the method, but why they're doing that method, the behavior and the habit and the location. And then I can take that and I can change it, turn it into something I can use with a cable restraint or a snare. I had an old boy, we was doing what we called speed demos. My demo wasn't so speedy, and Don knew it. That's why. But anyway, we was doing speed demos, and this one old boy came up with a pipe and a piece of metal over top of it, and he uses a conibear in the pipe for mink. Now, while everybody was keyed in on him using a conibear for the mink, the whole time he's talking about what gave him that idea of the metal and what happens, why he used the metal and what gathers underneath that metal. And the pipe is just a travel route, if you will, knowing mink behavior, knowing that mink will shoot down into a hole or check out a cavity or do all kinds of little things. And I sat and watched Don's mink in the enclosure, and I really just sat and watched them. And one particular mink I really watched a great deal, and saw things this time that I didn't see the last time I was watching the mink. And I came back with a lot more thoughts, if you will, for snaring mink here in South Jersey. But that old boy, when I got up to give my little demo, I gave him credit because he gave me 2 or 3 ideas on using his thing, pipe and metal, but instead of a 110 or a foothold, I'm going to be using a cable restraint. Snare, actually, because our mink snares they don't have a gear stop. And I think you know, that old boy had a pretty good idea. A lot of people might have just brushed him right on off. I don't know, but for me, he gave me some good information, just like all the rest of the folks out there. When we was talking with the Predator boys, now they was talking about foot traps. Brian Nelson was talking about foot traps, but he got me thinking. Gave me some ideas with snares. A few other guys the same way when they was talking. Zagger. A few other guys talking about foot traps with canines, coyotes, and what have you. I just took what they was saying, looked at, even though they didn't say why they was doing what they're doing. I'm about the only guy that does that. But I read what they was doing and put in, remember what I always tell you? Listen to what they're saying, but hear what they're not saying. Listen to what they're saying, but hear what they're not saying. And I've got a knack. I've been able to build a knack for listening to them and understanding what they're saying and why they're doing it. And then when I put those two together, I can say, yep, I can use a cable restraint in this scenario or that scenario or this, or I can work off of that idea and I can work off of this idea. Came home with a lot of good information. Already put a little bit of it this morning in my test sites. And I think we're going to come up with a few new snaring method techniques, if you will, just from listening to them old boys. And I'll give them credit when it works. So why am I doing this video? Well, it's simple. For you New Jersey boys, all we can use is foot traps. Oh, we can't use foot traps. I'm sorry. We cannot use foot traps. Where the rest of the nation, all they can use is foot traps. All we can use is a cable restraint from fox and coyotes. So you look down at your location. You look at your habits. You look at your behavior. And then you apply it all together. I was doing a speed demo the speed demo was times 5. There's supposed to be 5-minute speed demos, but I was 25 minutes long. But Don knew I was going to do that, so it don't matter. But as I was doing the talk on a post set using a cable restraint, as I was looking over the crowd, I was trying to read them because I feed off the crowd when I'm talking. But the crowd was very hard because I could see that a lot of them was saying, I don't understand why you're doing this. I don't understand. And the simple reason is because they use foot traps and foot traps only. So I wasn't equating to the foot trap. So I said to him at one point, if you want to know where the head is going to be, know where the feet is. And then I said, if you want to know where the feet is going to be, know where the head is. Now, I could tell by the expressions on many of them, it went right over their head. But Zaggart, the 5 or 6 guys that was really talking Predators, when they was talking foot trap position, they all was saying the same thing. When his head is down smelling, his feet is going to be here. When their head is down smelling, their feet is going to be here. It's going to be there, center, whatever. Now, they all had a little bit of different mindsets when it was coming to things, but the truth of the matter is they was all saying the same thing. Put the trap where the feet's going to be, and you can tell where the feet's going to be by putting the head where it's going to be. Same thing with cable restraints. And that post set that I was showing them. Figure out where the feet are going to be in reference to that post. What's that fox or that coyote do when he comes up to a post? He smells it first. Where's his feet going to be? Where's his feet want to be? Because as soon as it smells it, it's got to move into position to mark the post. If it's a male, he's going to move forward 1 full body length. Why? Because he's got to hoist his leg to pee on the post. If it's a female, she's going to have to move forward 1 full body length. Why? Because she's going to squat to pee at the base of the post. But both of them are going to stay on the post as they move forward. And I come up with that idea because I was thinking about my beaver sets and how my scented pole set works. And I just did the same thing on dry ground. And the son of a gun, it worked. Son of a gun, it worked. So this is mainly for you New Jersey snarermen. It's just starting out. Yeah, you can go to a convention. Yeah, you can go to an outing. You can go and talk to a bunch of trappers. And they may be foot trappers. They may be conibear trappers. They may be this type of trapper. They may be a cage trapper. But if they're a good trapper and you're talking to them and you listen to what they're saying, but hear what they're not, you're going to understand they're going to give you information on how to catch a critter with a cable restraint or a snare. All you got to do is be willing to think. Oh, that's a hard word. I know that. I know. Thinking hurts. Thinking hurts. Ain't got to do all that, Jonesy. You're right, I don't. After I learned it. But once I thunk about it, and once I learned it, then I ain't got to thunk about it no more. I just do it. Don, thank you for that Minktoberfest. The son and I had a really good time. Wish we didn't have to leave so early. Probably a good thing I did. I was feeling terrible by the time I got home. Well, I'm going to leave it there. This video isn't as good of a video for Minktoberfest as Todd did or Alan did, but he did some nice videos. I'm just an old redneck though, so you can't expect too much out of me. I'll talk to y'all later. Redneck's Pride Outdoors. Thoughts from the office.